We were all disappointed with how that Purdue game ended, but keeping it within 6 when they were supposed to lose by 14 was the proof we needed to confirm that this team can compete with anybody. This bye week's much needed for a quarterback who hasn't had much protection, a defense who missed two of their best players on Saturday, and a fan base who so badly wants their healthy team to pull off an upset over a top 20 Illinois in just 2 weeks. Losses are never fun, but we learn something new about Nebraska after every game they play. So today, I'm going through the 5 things I learned after week 7. We'll talk about the head coaching position and how Mickey can earn this job, and we'll talk about the Big Ten West title race. But what's up, guys? I'm Connor Hayden, and this is Corn Crazed. If you're a fan of Nebraska or the Big Ten, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the videos that I release. And if you think Trey Palmer can earn first team All Big Ten, hit the like button now to help us get to 1,000. But now, let's get into it.
Yet across midfield. Touchdown, Nebraska! Omar Manning.
We got to start by acknowledging how amazing this college football weekend was as a whole, because one thing that's really hurt the sport and frustrates fans is that we always see the same coaches and the same teams win. Not that we don't respect what they've built or don't appreciate the greatness. We just want more parity, kind of like what we see in the NFL. Number 3 Alabama with their Heisman quarterback and their 16-year head coach got taken down by number 6 Tennessee, who's missed more bowl games than Nebraska has in these last 16 seasons. Their head coach is in his second year, and two of the players who helped on that final drive to win the game didn't even start their careers in Knoxville. Say all you want about the transfer portal, but for a sport that was being hurt by the two most successful programs' dynasty level domination, something had to change, and free agency's been a good thing in that regard. Number 7 USC lost a thriller to number 20 Utah on a 2-point conversion at the very end of the game, and just seeing the emotion from both of the quarterbacks at the end, one with tears of pain and the other with tears of joy, was enough to remind you why college football is the greatest sport on the planet. And number 8 Oklahoma State got taken down by number 13 TCU, who has a brand new head coach, lost multiple starters, including O'Shawn Mathis and former 5-star running back Zach Evans to the portal, and now they're 6-0 after beating 3 of the best 5 teams in the Big 12 so far this year. And watching Nebraska lose for so many years made me appreciate other teams and other games so much more. So now that the college football playoffs expanding, and now that realignment's coming, recruiting shifting because of NIL, and the transfer portal's there to balance it all out, I won't give any credit to one entity for making college football great again, but thank God the universe finally sorted this all out. In our Purdue preview video, I broke down why that game would come down to being a one-score win for either team, and I saw that a ton of the members in our Bro Throw group ended up winning money on that pick Saturday, so I want to shout out Craig because he was the first winner I saw who picked up $20 on that game, so I'm glad you followed me on that one. On Friday night, we did a live stream and made some picks for the other games too, so if you rode with me, I ended up going 10-1 on the weekend, and I cashed out over $500 on my bets, which was nice because I had a couple losses last week, but we're back in the green. So if you want to join our Corn Craze community of over 300 members on Bro Throw, where you can make bets on college football, baseball, the NFL, or any other sport you like to watch, without having to pay any fees or add any bank account info, head over to brothrow.com/GBR or click the link in the description, and you'll be able to see all the picks I make and everybody else makes every single week. And BroThrow is available in every US state since it's a platform that connects you with other players from around the country. And because it's not a sports book, you don't pay the VIG on any bets. They've been a great sponsor here for us at Corn Crazed, and I'm just glad it's something we can all enjoy since it's available no matter where you live. But let's talk about the Big Ten West race, because Nebraska's still alive. It's just a long shot based on what we've seen. The first thing that would have to happen for them to win the West would be Purdue losing twice. And they're underdogs this week against Wisconsin, and they could also lose to Illinois or Indiana, so it's not impossible on that front. What's tougher is that Nebraska would need to win out because they can only afford 2 conference losses to finish ahead of Purdue. So they'd need to beat Michigan on the road, and based on how Nebraska's O-line looks, that game's probably going to get a little ugly. If Wisconsin beats Purdue like they're projected to this week, then Illinois will be in first place and they'll control their own destiny, but they'll still have to play at Nebraska, at Michigan, and Purdue's still on their schedule. So is it looking like the Big Ten West champ could end up being a 3-loss Purdue or a 3-loss Illinois, who battle it out with the West title on the line. And next year is going to be the last year of the West as we know it, since SC and UCLA are joining the conference. So the new staff will have a new goal, but maybe the new and improved version of Nebraska can win the title next year. I went live after the game Saturday to give you my instant reaction, but now that I've had more time to process what went down, I want to give you the 5 things I learned and touch on some notes that I hope the coaches can address coming out of the bye week. The first thing we learned is that Trey Palmer's probably going to be gone after just one season in Lincoln. Trey's technically a junior since he played in 2020, but he's been in college for 4 years, so I'm guessing he's ready to get out. But take away the school part and just focus on football. Trey's the number 1 receiver in the country today with 47 catches for 781 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's on pace to go for over 1,300, and if Nebraska's going to keep playing from behind, I bet he smashes that number. We had no idea what we were getting back in January since he had less catches in his first 3 seasons than he's had in just 1 year here. But this guy was a borderline 5-star coming out of high school for a reason, and the NFL scouts are definitely watching his film now that PFF has him as the top-rated player at his position over guys from USC, Tennessee, Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, all of them. Mark Whipple had the number 1 receiver in the country last year in Jordan Addison, and Mickey Joseph's proven to be an elite receivers coach time and time again. So although we may lose Trey, and for his sake, I hope we do since he's got such a bright future ahead as a pro, I feel great about Nebraska's receiver development in the future. The second thing we learned is that Mickey needs to win at least 2 more games this year to get the head coaching job. He's only been in Lincoln for 1 offseason, and he got thrown into this position under tough circumstances. But Mickey's resume is about 99% position coach experience. Nobody expected him to turn this team around in just 3 weeks, but if he really wants that job, he's got to show Trev that he's more than just a great recruiter, motivator, and position coach. He's got to show him that he can win. 4-5 wouldn't be anything special in terms of interim head coach's record history, and he might need to get to 5-4 for serious consideration. But I don't think going 3-6 playing against 6 unranked teams would be enough for Trev to want to take that risk. Number 3 is that Nebraska can beat any team in the West left on their schedule. Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota are all in the bottom tier of the division with Nebraska, and although they've been the top teams for the majority of the Frost era, this just happens to be the down year for all of them. Illinois might be as tough as Purdue is, but they lost to an Indiana team that Nebraska beat by 14, and they'll have to play that one on the road. Even Purdue, who was at home at night, struggled to stop Nebraska and only won by 6. So if the difference between one of the best and one of the worst teams in the division is only a touchdown, what's that mean for Illinois? If there was ever a trap game for a top 20 team in the West, it's against a healthier Nebraska coming off a bye week, fighting for a bowl game in Lincoln. Number 4 is that Ramir Johnson deserves more touches. We only got to see him take 1 handoff at Purdue, but it went for 17 yards, and he looked just as quick as he did last year. Ramir wants a chance, and since he's been sitting behind Grant and Yant for so long, giving him the ball a few times a game might mean you get his most meaningful play since he wants to prove it so bad. Ramir's the best receiving back on the team, and he's been known to be a good blocker, so if Whipple's looking for a playmaker who can provide support for Casey as a check down, an extra blocker, or even a guy who can get behind the D-line for a little screen pass, I'd say it's more than worth giving this guy some playing time. Number 5 is that making a bowl game would be a major win for this team. The odds have been against these guys since Georgia Southern and since they lost their head coach and DC in back-to-back weeks. After OU, a lot of people thought that winning 1 or 2 more games would be a miracle, and now it feels like they could end up with 4 wins under this staff. 195-pound Casey Thompson's trying to run an offense with almost zero protection and a non-existent run game. The defense is still breaking in new starters at corner, safety, and linebacker with all these recent injuries, and special teams has been the only consistent unit throughout the season. We know brighter days lie ahead, but reaching a bowl game after all this team has been through for the past 4 seasons would be an amazing feat and the perfect cap to end one of the most depressing eras in the history of Nebraska football. Since it's the bye week, I'm going to head out to Orlando for a few days tomorrow to help my friend make some content for her new store that we spent the entire football offseason building out. But I'll be back on Thursday, so I'm hoping we can do another social club live stream then. And I packed out 20-something merch orders this morning, and my roommate's going to help me out and drop those off to get mailed tomorrow. But for anyone who orders merch over the next 3 days, I won't be able to send out the next batch until Friday. So I just wanted to let you know there's going to be a delay, and that's why. And I ran a promo on the stream Friday night, so we'll keep that going for this week too. If you buy any hoodie on the site by Friday, I'll send you wristbands and a sticker pack with that order too. So just head to corncraze.com and you can see all the merch I've got for sale on the site. We've had so many orders and super chats over the past couple months, so I just wanted to remind you how much your support means to me since I put in so many hours into each and every one of these videos, and every dollar that comes in helps me to create more content and to make this a more fun and engaging community as we grow. Before we go, I got to give you a couple of my thoughts on Mickey as head coach because that's been the #1 topic of discussion in the comments of pretty much every video I release. So today, the Cardinals lost again, and it's starting to feel more and more like the Cliff Kingsbury era is coming to an end there, which means Mickey's brother Vance might be looking for a new job. He's been the defensive coordinator and a head coach in the NFL for the last 7 seasons with the Dolphins, the Broncos, and now the Cardinals. And my guess is that Mickey would be pretty interested in that NFL experience and for a chance to work with his brother since it's somebody he can trust. Not sure about any other DCs, but that's definitely one I'd have on the radar since it looks like the timing would work out perfectly. The rumors about Mark Whipple's health are out of control, and although I don't think he's going to retire in the middle of the season, I do think there's smoke here, and this very well could be his last year coaching since he's 65 and the high-stress nature of this job isn't benefiting his health in any way. A guy that would be interesting for that OC position if Mickey takes over as head coach is Robert Anae from Syracuse. We talked about him last year when Nebraska had an OC opening, but he was at Virginia at the time. Last year, Virginia had the #2 passing attack in the country, and this year without him, they took a huge step back. But his offense at Syracuse now is averaging almost 30 points a game against Power 5 schools, and they're running for almost 190 yards a game. So he's clearly committed to doing what works with his personnel. And having coached in the ACC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, and at BYU, he's been around enough football for me to feel confident in him calling plays against Big Ten teams. He played guard at BYU in the 80s, and he spent 14 seasons as a Division I offensive line coach, so that checks off one more box on our list. Mickey's still an outsider looking in until this team can win some more, but I'll keep you posted on guys I like and whatever I'm hearing because this hire is the most important job decision that Trev has ever had to make in his lifetime. Probably will ever have to make in his lifetime. But I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. Were you expecting Trey to be the backbone of this offense, or has he been a surprise to you this season? And are you still hopeful for a bowl game, or are you just ready to find out who the next head coach is? I'm still enjoying what we've got, and I'm hopeful that this team can win at least 3 more, but I'm as excited and as nervous as I've ever been for the future of this program. But that's all I've got for today, so enjoy the bye week off, and I'll see you guys later this week. Go Big Red.